Welcome to the Earn More, Stress Less podcast with me, Caro Syson, and my co-host for this season 2, Hayley Hudson. This podcast is for self-employed business owners just like you who really want to grow their business and become successful and profitable and without all the stress and hassle. We want to share over 50 years of our business experience to show you how simple it can be to earn more money and how you can get organised without needing a business degree or any other qualification. We'll be talking about the easy steps that you can put in place right now to start earning more money today and to help you get the business that you deserve and dream of. So without further ado, let's get started. This week's podcast is sponsored by Pocket PA, helping self-employed business owners to get organised, understand their finances and do their accounts all in one place using a powerful online tool. If you're serious about making a profit and having a successful business, then using a simple digital app like Pocket PA is the best way to grow and scale your business. Visit pocketpa.com for more details and start managing your money like a pro today. Hello and welcome to the Earn More, Stress Less podcast with me, Caro Syson, and my wonderful co-host, Hayley Hudson. Hi, Hayley. How are you?
Hi, Caro. I'm fine. Thank you. Having a great day so far.
Good news. Well, I'm just thinking about today's episode. I was thinking about it in the car earlier, and I think it's interesting. We're going to be diving into some strategies to simplify your appointments and to streamline those operations in your business today. Now, I expect appointments are just one of those things that we just think of as the bedrock and we don't really give much consideration. But whether you're using a paper diary, whether you're using your Google Calendar or your iPhone calendar or something like that, maybe this is an episode for you if we want to challenge your thoughts around doing your diary in a different way, I suppose. There are a lot of people that haven't yet moved on to a digital diary. So maybe this episode is for them, and just to reaffirm some thoughts for those who are already using a digital diary and as to why it's can be really beneficial for your business. So thanks for joining Hayley and I today. We're going to be covering off some practical tips and techniques about simplifying your appointment making processes, talking about systems that you can use and enhancing your client experiences ultimately, and hopefully saving you some time and some stress. So my first question is, are you still using a paper diary or have you made that leap over to digital? Perhaps you're on the fence, and if so, then this episode is for you. So I'd like to go back to a little story when my daughter first started her business. She had a golden filer fax. This was Megan, and she's who I made Pocket PA for. But she was using her golden filer fax and she was putting everything, all of her client information, all of her notes, all of her appointments and things, and juggling things in this paper diary. And I was absolutely terrified that she might one day lose this said golden filer fax, or it might get lost, stolen, God forbid, damaged in some flood or a storm or something like that. I had these nightmares, these recurring nightmares about a paper diary and how Megan was managing her business, because basically her whole livelihood was stuck in this paper diary. And I could see how she liked to reorder it. She likes to have everything super neat. So there was quite a bit of Tipexing going on because she wanted to have it just so. She's not one of these messy people. But I was trying to persuade her that moving over to a cloud-based diary was going to help her to streamline her appointment scheduling. I wanted to demonstrate that it could really help her with her overall appointment keeping, her admin tasks, and accessing her bookings from anywhere, whether she had her golden filer fax with her or not. So I can obviously only recommend my own diary management system, which is Pocket PA, and it's perfect if you're that solo business owner working by yourself for yourself. But today we want to talk about the benefits generically of using a cloud-based system. Now, a cloud-based system is where you put your information into a digital tool like a diary, and it's all saved up in well, I don't know where it's saved specifically. Where is the cloud, Hayley? It's up there in the sort of ethereal. And
who knows?
Yeah, exactly. It's just one of those places that we don't actually see. It's not tangible, but it's saved on some servers somewhere on a computer, and it's all securely saved. But putting your diary onto a digital cloud-based tool is really great. It means firstly that it's backed up. So cloud-based things are super safe these days, obviously reliant on your usual protocols of updating your password regularly, not sharing your login details. There's going to be a data controller, so you can they're going to be registered with the IPO for data protection. So the security around putting your data and information onto a cloud-based server, I wanted to tick that box off first to reassure people that it is a safe way forwards. But for those people reluctant to either take on this method, maybe it's because they need to invest some time getting it set up, but the benefits are so huge, you really can't afford not to move into the 21st century to do this. So, Hayley, have you been using a diary on a digital platform for some time, or is it something you've been considering?
I've used one for, well, in my own self-employed journey. The salon's had one since the day we opened. But I had actually been using them before that when I was employed for a short time with another salon. So back in the day, it wasn't quite cloud-based, but it was definitely an online system. So for me, when I opened the salon, I just wasn't prepared to do a paper diary. Actually, I'm fibbing. I've just had a complete memory of I had gone and priced it up before I opened my salon. I couldn't afford it before I opened my salon. So we actually did about 6 months to a year on the paper diary. I mean, we're going back a long time here, so forgive me for that one. So no, I actually went and priced it up, and it was so expensive. You had to buy a license in those days, and it was thousands. I think it was about £3,000. And it was a system that I'd used in my previous employment. And so no, we did a stint on the paper diary. And I mean, we were used to using a paper diary. I'd used them previously, but all that constant rubbing out the pencil when somebody rearranged, or if you had a cancellation, you couldn't see who'd moved or where it was, and little scribbles of messages next to the column, like "don't book here" or "forgot to come," and little codes and things like that next to people, just to indicate to all the team members what was going on. And, whilst you can navigate your business with a paper diary, being able to offer the text message reminders, email marketing, track your numbers and your figures, it wasn't until I got the system in place I could truly see the health of my business, measure that against other salons in the industry as well, because in those days there was one particular feature that we used to have which would benchmark you next to the industry standard, which was quite useful. So that was really interesting. So yeah, I mean, I've flitted around. So I've changed system a few times, and they all work slightly differently. So I think, you often have to make a compromise somewhere. So when you're picking one, I think the most important thing would be, for example, if you want one that syncs up to collect reviews, or you might want one to track your mileage, like Pocket PA, or you might need to transition to something else if you decide to grow a team. So they're all slightly different. So I think the main thing for me is doing some thorough research and have a play about with all of them before you commit. But I mean, my partner uses Pocket PA, and it is very, very good. So I can highly recommend it.
Thank you for saying that. Well, I mean, I think your diary is your central focus. It's what everything sort of radiates out from. So if you think of your appointment diary as the sort of center of your wheel, from there, it radiates whether you use an online booking system, it radiates your reports, it radiates your clients, and all the other aspects around the appointments that you need to think about. Because if you are a service-based delivery provider, then everything goes around the appointments that you're actually giving, because that's where you're actually earning your money. So this is your hub, your central focus, your appointments. And I think it's really important that you realize the upside of having a digital diary. So using an online booking system is a next step on, and I'm going to cover that in a moment. I've kind of got my notes in a bit of a wrong way today, but I wanted to talk more about simplifying your appointment processes first. So once your appointments are in the diary, certainly in Pocket PA, it then lets you see exactly how much you're going to earn, because you can't know with a paper diary, unless you keep adding it up manually, exactly what you're going to be earned. You just see a number of clients in your diary on a paper diary, or if you've got them in your phone or somewhere else, and you don't actually know what the monetary amount is related to those appointments that you're giving. So that was one of the very early things that I developed in Pocket PA, was to make sure that any appointments that go into the diary give you a direct correlation as to how much that means financially for you. So you can see the more appointments that you've got in your diary, obviously the more you're going to be earning. So that was a very direct, not a big rocket science moment, but it was much simpler. And that was a big aha moment for Megan when she moved over from her paper diary. She was able to see in real time, because what you start out with on a Monday, for example, you might have something that looks pretty healthy. You've got lots of clients booked in. By Tuesday or Wednesday, you might have had 3 cancellations, 4 more people coming to book something in. And you've got a whole different synopsis of what actually is going on. And that can have a knock-on impact on your finances as well. So it's important that you update your appointment diary on a regular basis to make sure that it's always current. You've got the next available slot showing. And I think one of the big benefits of being able to see your calendar in a week view or a month view is to give you an overall sense and feeling of how busy and full you are. And the way that we do it in Pocket PA, we link it all with colour. So all of your services can be variable colours. And I know that one of the beauticians, she gives massages, and she colours all of her massage services in green. And then she does all of her nail appointments in oranges and yellows, and then her eye, lashes and brows and things in pinks. So at a glance, she's able to see a very clear overview of what she might have going on that week. So if there are lots of green appointments, she knows firstly she needs to have an extra Weetabix in the morning. She's going to have a lot of sort of manual, heavier work because she's going to be applying herself. Also, there's probably going to be quite a bit more washing. So she might have a quick look at the weather forecast to see if she's going to be able to get all of those towels out on the line because she changes her towels frequently, etc. And so having your color coded appointment diary relating to your services is a really great way to be able to connect and get an overview at a glance, really, as to what you're going to be doing and what the predominance of your services are going to be delivered that week. So color coding can be really helpful, particularly if you're like me, neurodiverse, and you can really connect things with the color. But I wanted to talk as well about if you are running a digital diary, then it really is the natural next step for you to then start using an online booking system, because one will naturally feed into the other. Now, I can't overemphasize enough the convenience of using an online booking system for clients to schedule in their own appointments. 9 times out of 10, clients are doing their life admin at a time when you're either fast asleep or you're really not interested in taking calls and messages from them. So to be able to offer an online booking system, which you can integrate into your social media or into your website, is really handy, because when your clients are in at 10 o'clock at night, they can have a look and see when you've got spaces in your diary and be able to book themselves in. And what the online booking system in Pocket PA does, it allows you to be able to tick a little box, which means that clients are only able to see appointments more towards the beginning of the day. So it means that they will book the next appointment in. And it means then that you're not wasting time with one client booking in at 9 in the morning and another client booking in at 4 o'clock. It will just show the next available appointment for that day. So that ensures that you don't have any gaps. Another thing with the online booking system, which makes it a real game changer on the time saving, is that you can actually take deposits or part payments to save yourself more time. And there's a tick box right at the end to ensure that your clients automatically agree to your terms and conditions. Otherwise, they can't submit and finish the booking process. So that straight away ensures that your clients have taken the responsibility to have either checked or agree to abide by your terms and conditions. So anything in there, we've talked previously about policies and conditions and terms and things. That means that when you've got that tick box there, it means that your client is making a contract with you by ticking that box. You can also choose to link your cancellation policy. So that could go out when your clients get their booking confirmations. So there's a full audit trail in writing in case you need to rely on this at a later stage, in case there's anything sticky going on. And you've also got an option in the Pocket PA online booking system to be able to choose whether or not to take on new clients. There's a little tick box for that. You can also choose how far in advance you might want to open your diary. My daughter only opens it a month in advance, and she puts a big post on social media, but some people like to open up and have their diary available for the next 3 to 6 months. Hayley, I know you found yourself without some time because your online diary got carried away with itself, didn't it, at some point, and you didn't actually have any holidays because people were booking so far in advance. So yeah, tell us about that.
Yes, you do have to limit your online diary. I think all of your diaries, you have to limit them. So yeah, my clients used to get very carried away with them. They'd start booking me all the way through the year, from January right through to December. It was like prison, honestly. I mean, it's great to be in so much demand, but when you've not very organised, not got your holidays in, it can be quite depressing. It can have quite the opposite effect. I think online bookings are so popular. I know of some people now that are choosing to only take online bookings. I think the thing to remember is it's your business, and your clients will book with you however you choose. So I've spoken to a lot of beauty therapists and hairdressers about this and being able to offer online booking, and some have real resistance. There's some real resistance with some of us old school ones that don't really want to get up with the 21st century, or
Control thing.
yeah, it is a control thing. thing. Yeah, I wasn't sure whether to say that or not, but yes, it is. It's a real control thing. And, they're still sending out the manual text messages to confirm the night before and telling them exactly how much it's going to be and, and what the fuel will cost or whatever if they're mobile. And, I just, you couldn't pay me enough money to do that. Honestly, I really just have not got the bandwidth at all. I mean, I admire that level of, list creating and box ticking, but I am just not that person. So for me, anything that's online and automated is the way to go, because I am the bottleneck in my business. I probably shouldn't say this, obviously being a business mentor and a coach, but I am naturally a procrastinator. I have to work really hard to get through that. I'm naturally a procrastinator, and I've had to read the book, Eat the Frog. I have to work really hard to stay on top of things like that. So, creating any more jobs for me is just not going to happen. So I think the main thing just to get back to point. So the main thing to remember is if those clients want to book in with you, if you tell them you can only book in online, that is what they will do. There's nothing worse than having your phone ringing while you're mid-appointment, or having to, get back to 20 odd people when you finish your shift. You just don't want to do it. So my advice would be to turn on your online booking or get a system that does it. I think my only reservation that I've experienced with online booking is sometimes you have to filter out which services you can and can't put on there. So for me personally, we've tried to put hair color bookable on our online system, and whilst we have put every type of heading you can possibly imagine, we still get people trying to book the roots of a highlight under a retouch with no finish. We've even tried to create them so that it's a package, and people I think they're just naturally choosing the cheaper option and hoping that we don't notice, and we can miraculously fit in a full head of foils that takes an hour into a half an hour slot, but obviously we can't. So we have cuts, we have blow dries, we have all styling products, we have all styling services, we have all of the beauty therapy treatments as well. So providing someone's had an allergy test, which our system will flag up, they can go and book online as much as they want. But we are thinking about having another go with the colour. But watch this space. I'll let you know whether we do or not.
I think that brings me on to my next point, because as you say, there is sometimes some resistance for people moving on to an online booking system. And I think some of the reservations around it, firstly, is that control thing about that fear of it all getting out of control, or them not being able to trust their clients to actually choose the right service or whatnot. But I think part of the aspect of moving into that whole new space is about educating your clients on how to use your digital tools effectively. So maybe when you start to introduce it, there may be a few clients that are a bit older, or they're technophobes, or they're not really used to having that system, and they do like the luxury of just being able to drop you a message and have you respond and have this back and forth going forwards, this real personalized appointment booking service. But it does take up your time. It definitely eats into your profit margin and into your evenings and weekends. So I think a short amount of education just to show your clients exactly how easy it is for them to book in, just provide them with the link. You could perhaps go through it with them for the first time and just show them exactly where their service sits in the list so that they know what they're looking for, and just take them through the guided step-by-step process. Because certainly with Pocket PA, there's about 3 or 4 steps, presuming that you're taking a deposit payment or whatever. And once the client has verified themselves and they've had their email address or their phone number verified, there's a little cookie that sits on the system so that if they book using the same device, it will remember them, so they don't need to be re-verified. And then they go in, they just need to look for their one service. They know which button to click. It'll take them into the next screen. You can just talk them through where they look at the date, and the time choices and which button they click. But it should be all quite intuitive. But I know that some people are a little bit resistant to that first time and just wanting that hand holding to be shown how simple it is. And then when it gets to the payment screen, people are quite used to putting card details and stuff online, but we've added in Apple Pay and Google Pay now, so that if the client is on their phone booking it and they've got an iPhone or an Android, they can actually click the button to be making the payment with Apple Pay. So they don't even need to go off and find their card details. And then you get to that last page and you press submit, and suddenly, voila, you have got your appointment in your diary. You have an email sent to you, so the client is able to see also exactly what they've just booked in, and they can recheck it back that it's the right thing that they thought they were booking. As the provider, you get an email saying that Mrs. Jones has just booked in for her haircut at 4 o'clock on Friday the 15th or whatever it is, and you've got that end-to-end assurance that everything has been booked in correctly. And that was completely hands off. That might have been booked at 10 o'clock at night or 7 in the morning, and you were fast asleep or doing something else, getting the kids off for school, and you've got a new client in your diary and they've paid a deposit, which is extra reassurance. They've agreed to your terms and conditions, and everything is tickety-boo. So there are a lot of benefits, but as I say, a little bit of client education at the beginning is helpful. Sometimes people are scared of setting up their own online diary, and in Pocket PA we've got a step-by-step guide on how to set it up, to navigate the digital diary and how to access your appointment confirmations and reminders. And with Pocket PA, your clients don't need to download any associated mobile app either for accessibility. They just need to book it in using a link. So there's nothing for them to download at any point or have on their phone. Hayley, did you ever have clients that had issues booking in or were resistant to it because of the technicalness of it? That's not even a word. To the technicalities of it, that's the word.
I know what you mean. No, I think you'll always get some people who just don't like change. Like we were saying earlier, from, the practitioner's point of view, we don't like change, but equally clients don't always like change. So I think, as you've just said, if you walk them through that first go, and I think the great thing about your system is you can limit it so it's only existing clients, can't you, Caro?
Yes.
Whereas I think if you've got new clients that are booking in, for us, it was often new clients that were creating a problem by booking in colours incorrectly. At the time, our system that we were using, because I've not heard about yours, it didn't give you the ability to do that. So which I think is another fantastic thing, throughout this whole podcast, genuinely, although I'm a guest expert, I'm not saying this to blow smoke up your ass. You have got some great features. You really have. Honestly, you've done such a great job. You've thought of all of the things that are, just drive you up the wall.
Thank you.
I really mean that.
I think it's because we built it from the inside out, and I knew what Megan's pain points were. And as a result, she would come down and say, Mum, it's not doing this, or I need to do that. And I would think, oh my goodness, I need to add that in. So it's evolved organically from exactly how she practices and the challenges and the pain points that she had, because she didn't choose to use online booking for ages. And I eventually sat her down and said, why aren't you using online booking? And it was as small as the fact as she was so busy with her clients, she didn't want to risk having new random clients booking in. And I said, if I can put in a button for that to stop new clients coming without going through you first, would that make all the difference? She said, game changer. So we put the button in, and then the next challenge she had was about the deposit. So I said, well, if we collect a deposit during the booking process, would that help? Another level of excellence. And so all of these things were organically put in because I could see the pain points and challenges she had. And from this online booking system and having a digital diary, that leads us on to something else that you and I are really sort of big fans about, and that is the automated appointment reminders, which minimises your no-shows and cancellations. But also in Pocket PA, we've put in a thank you email or SMS text that can come after the appointment. So few people actually say thank you after people have been to see them. But it's a great opportunity about getting reviews after your appointment and linking it perhaps with your Google reviews page. I know that you're really good at collecting reviews, Hayley. That's one of your strengths, isn't it? Your zone of genius.
Yes, we've been doing really well on this. Unfortunately, as I did do a little bit of hopping with my system provider, we had got up to, I think, 1,500 5-star Google reviews a number of years ago. Sorry, not Google ones. I'm lying there. Within our system. And then Google reviews back then weren't really that much of a thing. So at the minute, we've got just over 400 5-star Google reviews, and we've got, probably another 1,000 on our, back system that's, solely just for our software. because how a lot of the systems work is they'll review you internally sometimes, so you'll get your own independent little review score on within their system, and then obviously it then prompts out, do you want to share this on Google, or like your system, it'll have the email where it just have a direct link to your Google. So it's an amazing thing. If you do optimize your Google listing and you get it out there, make sure that you are collecting Google reviews, because it makes a huge difference with our Google ranking. I mean, we're always in the top 3 in our area of hairdressers, always. And that is just down to the fact that we've got so many 5-star Google reviews.
And I think that that's the one sort of flag point that I want to make. When you do use a system that only collects internal reviews, it very much leaves you vulnerable and tied into that system, because you're not going to want to. It's a very big decision. If you've got 1,500 reviews on that platform, and that's going to be keeping you staying with them. And the idea of having to start all over again and put those Google reviews and stuff, whereas Google, it's been here as long as we can remember the internet, and it's probably not going anywhere. So Google is most people's search engine. I know people are using YouTube and Pinterest and other things, but it's such a good point of reference. And so if you have Google rankings, and if people are looking for your particular service in the local area, Google will automatically put you at front and center if you have got Google reviews. So can't overemphasize enough the importance of getting Google reviews, because it doesn't matter which software you move and go between, as long as you've got them centrally on Google, that's an independent place that will always remain the same and help people to be able to find you. And so just touching on very briefly, once you've got an automated online booking system, and when you're using a digital diary, the other upsides enable you to actually then tap into using this automated reminder system to make sure that those no-shows and cancelled appointments are out of the loop and your clients keep on turning. And I think by proactively communicating with your clients and minimizing those missed appointments, you can really optimize your schedule. You can improve the overall efficiency in your business operations. And once you have a digital diary, it enables you to be able to look at statistics and trends, to be able to get familiar with exactly how many appointments you have per week or per month on average, and to be able to see the impact that increasing it or decreasing it can have on your time and on your cash flow. So I hope we've given you some food for thought today. If you're not a digital diary user, I hope we've encouraged you to be a little bit open-minded and perhaps explore the idea of moving something over from paper onto a digital system. And there's nothing to stop you having the two running in parallel, perhaps, while you get familiar with using a new digital system, just so that you've got that backup and you can hold on and have a little rustle of your paper until you feel more confident and feel at home having that stuff all on your digital device, whatever it is, whether it's an iPhone, it's a tablet or a computer. And I think in today's fast-paced world, leveraging technology and digital tools such as cloud-based diaries and online booking system, it's essential for you as a small business owner who we don't have staff to delegate to. Anyway, thank you so much for joining Hayley and I today as we covered these tips. We're so grateful for your support. We look forward to sharing more valuable insights with you in the future episodes. So until then, remember to embrace simplicity and efficiency in your business. And thanks for tuning in. We'll catch up again next week.
See you next week.
Thank you so much for listening today to the Earn More, Stress Less podcast with me, Caro Syson, and my co-host, Hayley Hudson. If you've enjoyed this week's episode, then do hit subscribe so we can catch up again soon. And please kindly leave a review if you've got a moment, and share with anyone else that you think this podcast could help on their self-employed journey. If you're ready to make bigger breakthroughs in your business life and want to get way more organised and understand your finances the really simple way, then start your very own 14-day free trial today using the super powerful software tool Pocket PA that I made for my own son and daughter. Go to pocketpa.com/podcast and let's get you on the way to earning more money and stressing much less. Have a great week, whatever you're doing.